For those of you who don't know me, my name's Diane Jacoby. I'm the school governance liaison, and I'm here to help. So how can I help, Principal Hudson?
How do we sound?
A little quiet, but I can hear you.
Okay, we'll have to speak up tonight. All right, thank you. All right, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome back for what is sure to be another exciting year of Go Team. Good, so now I'll go to the official script. Good afternoon. Welcome to Smith's Go Team Meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I am pleased to call this meeting of the Smith Go Team to order. I will act in the capacity of interim Go Team Chair for this meeting. Our first order of business is to call roll. And actually, I have to appoint an interim secretary. So Ms. Mittman, would you mind continuing?
Yes.
Thank you. So our first order of business is to call roll. Ms. Mittman will serve as the interim secretary only for this meeting. Our official secretary for the 24-25 school year will be elected during this meeting. The interim secretary will now take roll.
Okay. Dwight Hudson.
Present.
Simona Hinton Derrickson. Elizabeth Zielinski, present. Ann Mittman. Carla Lamar. Here. Ben Miller.
Present.
Andrea Almario. Present. Chrissy Stewart. Present. Jennifer Moore. Present. Okay. All right.
Thank you. This team will only be able to make official action, or this team will only be able to take official action if a quorum is present. Ms. Mittman, is there a quorum present?
Yes.
Thank you. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you. This was provided to you via email, and you may see it on screen as well. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
A second?
A second.
Are there any amendments to the agenda? All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand so the secretary can record your vote.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Thank you. We will now move to filling vacant seats in the community member seat. Before we begin the process, I'd like to remind the Go Team of the following. The principal brings forth the nominations for the vacant and open community seats. All Go Team members have only one vote per seat. Individuals filling a vacant seat will serve until the conclusion of that seat's term. Individuals filling an open seat will serve for the full 2-year term. Upon approval, individuals are immediately full Go Team members and may join the meeting. Give me 1 second. Look at persons. We just spoke. I thought she would be here. Let me see if she's running.
No. Sorry.
Excuse us, she is busy volunteering in the other part of the school, so she'll be here in just a second. We will begin by filling the vacant seats. These are seats which have been vacated prior to the end of the term. No, I'm sorry. That's not it. 1 second. We will now move to fill the open community member seat. This person will serve on the GO team for a full 2-year term. I nominate LaQuisha Smith to fill the open community member seat. Does anyone have any comments or discussion about this nominee? You know LaQuisha from last year. She's on Friends Helping Friends, volunteers in the school, works and contacts a lot of the different communities, and that's the value she brings to the team. Any feedback? She'll be here in just a second. Just if there's any feedback, anyone we're looking at, anything, okay? Okay. We will now proceed to vote on the nomination of LaQuisha Smith for the community member seat. All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Okay, Secretary was recording the votes. Okay, we will review and approve meeting minutes from our last meeting. Actually, one moment, I'll pull those up. So these were the meeting minutes from our last meeting in April.
It was a while ago.
It was wild, yes. We discussed spring map, reading, how the coaches have been working, looking at growth, needs assessment. We talked about the continuous improvement plan, which we will be reviewing at the next meeting. Wow. So endorsement, some additional points, GO team elections, and adjournment. We will review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been reviewed. Are there any corrections? If there are no corrections, may I have a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. We will now move to electing Go Team officers. Before we begin the nominations, I'd like to remind the Go Team of the following. Nominations do not have to be seconded. A member may nominate themselves. A member may nominate more than one person for any position. A member may decline a nomination during the nomination process. Members may not serve more than 2 consecutive terms in the same officer position at the same school. Nominees do not have to leave the room during the nomination period or when a vote is taken. If there's more than one nominee per elected office, each nominee will be offered an opportunity to share why they should be elected to the seat. The newly elected officers will assume their position starting at the conclusion of this meeting and serve until June 30th. All voting members have only 1 vote per seat. First, we will elect the Go Team's chair. As a reminder, the responsibility of the chair includes, but are not limited to, leading Go Team meetings, working with the principal and Go Team to develop meeting agendas, ensuring every Go Team member has an opportunity to be heard, monitoring team compliance. I will now open the floor to receive chair nominations.
I nominate Elizabeth Zelinski.
Would any of the nominees like to decline the nomination? If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have 1 person being considered for the chair seat. The nomination for the chair is Elizabeth Zelinski. At this time, I will offer each chair nominee an opportunity to explain why they are the best candidate for the position. Other Go Team members may ask the nominees questions before voting.
I'm Elizabeth Zelinski. I've been a parent of the school since 2019. I look forward to working with Mr. Hudson on the agenda and making sure every voice gets heard during Go Team. During the summer, I try to stay up to date on Board of Education events and what's going on at the district level as well as what goes on at the school level. So I think I'd be a good fit for the position.
Please raise your hand to vote for, well, we don't really have to vote. Please raise your hand to vote for your choice please raise your hand to vote for your choice for chair of our Go Team. Any abstentions? Please abstain or raise your hand. Congratulations, Ms. Zelinski. You will serve as the Go Team chair for this school year. Now we will elect the Go Team vice chair. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the vice chair include, but are not limited to, ensuring the Go Team follows parliamentary procedure, working with the principal and chair to develop meeting agendas, acting as chair if the chair is not present. I will now open the floor to receive vice chair nominations.
I nominate Simone Dearest.
Would any of the nominees like to decline the nomination? If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have 1 person being considered for the vice chair seat. The nomination for vice chair is Dr. Derrickson. At this time, I will offer each vice chair nominee an opportunity to explain why they are the best candidate for the position. Other Go Team members may ask the nominees questions before voting.
Good afternoon. This is my second consecutive term, third year overall, serving on the GO team. Within the GO team, I've also served as a cluster representative, and I was very proud that last year we actually had mobility in that space and trying to create cluster-wide activities for the entire month. I'm honored to serve in this position. I do a lot of this work similarly for my profession, so this seems like this will be a very logical and the entire district, well, the entire school.
Keep going. One moment, let's see if we have any participants in the waiting room. Okay. Please raise your hand to vote for your choice for vice chair of our GO team. Any abstentions? Please abstain or raise your hand. Please say abstain or raise your hand. Congratulations, Dr. Jerson. You will serve as the GO team vice chair for this school year. Now we will elect the GO team secretary. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the secretary include, but are not limited to, posting GO team documents, agendas, summaries, and minutes to the website, taking minutes at GO team meetings, ensuring the GO team is in compliance with Georgia open meeting laws. I will now open the floor to receive secretary nominations.
I'd like to nominate myself, Ann Mittman, as secretary.
All right. If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered for the secretary seat. The nomination for secretary seat is Ann Mittman. At this time, I will offer each secretary nominee an opportunity to explain why they are the best candidate for the position. Other GO team members may ask the nominee questions before voting.
Can I have a point of clarification? Like, the only reason I didn't run for cluster rep thing, I think we couldn't do two positions separately. How? Yes,
More than, I think it's two more than consecutively, but Diane might be able to clarify how often, because I think Ben had been chaired twice in a row.
Yeah, that's a right route, gotcha.
Cluster rep that's a little bit different, right, Diane?
Cluster representative, yeah, you can be an officer. If I'm hearing the question correctly, you can be an officer. That means chair, vice chair, or secretary, and the cluster rep.
And you can do that for more than 1 year, correct?
You are allowed to hold a position, a leadership role on the team for 2 consecutive years before you have to either move to a different leadership role or not be in a leadership role.
Oh, after the second year. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
All right. So now we're at, did you get to say why?
No,
No, I interrupted, I'm sorry.
no, that's okay. I think I would make a good secretary. I did it last year, and I feel like being able to convey what happens during GO team to the public is, takes some care. And I've been putting a lot of work into the minutes and to making sure that everyone's got the correct expectations and communications coming from the GO team, as well as kind of making sure that what's happening at GO team is being portrayed to the rest of the school community. So I'd like to just continue that.
Thank you. So please raise your hand to vote for your choice for secretary of our GO team. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Everyone here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations, Ms. Mittman. You will serve as the GO team secretary for this school year. Now we will elect the GO Team's cluster representative. Cluster representatives may also hold an officer position, chair, vice chair, or secretary. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the cluster representative include, but are not limited to, attending all cluster advisory team meetings, which are approximately 4 per school year, reporting back to the GO Team on the cluster advisory team meetings. I will now open the floor to receive cluster representative nominations. Don't make, can I nominate?
I nominate myself as
Yep.
the cluster representative.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Moore. If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered for the cluster representative seat. The nomination for cluster representative is Ms. Jennifer Moore. At this time, I will offer Ms. Moore an opportunity to explain why she is the best candidate for the position. Other GO Team members may ask the nominee questions before voting.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Moore, and I'm the state contact teacher at the primary campus. This is year 24 of my teaching career, and I have adult children who are pretty well launched, and I have taught at Sarah Smith before, we won't say when, and Morningside, and I'm familiar also with CAB, and so I'm familiar with how schools work and feeder programs, and I think it would be a great opportunity to reach out because it is an effort we're also doing in the gifted department to do what we call a vertical alignment and look at the way our gifted students move up. So I would be happy to represent Sarah Smith in that capacity.
Thank you. Please raise your hands to vote for your choice for cluster representative of our GO Team. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Congratulations, Ms. Moore. You will serve as the GO Team cluster representative for this school year. We will now move to our next item of business in reviewing and updating or confirming our GO Team's public comment protocol. Public comment opportunities are available for GO Teams to hear from interested members of the community from section 3.4 of the GO Team Handbook. Opportunities for public comment shall be provided at least 4 times in a school fiscal year and noted on the GO Team's webpage and meeting agenda. GO Team members will not provide responses or engage in direct conversation during public comment. Each GO Team will determine a consistent method for receiving public comments and for parents and other citizens to sign up to address the team. At least 20 minutes of time will be allotted for the public to make comments at meetings where public comment is permitted, and the public will receive at least 2 business days notice of the public comment protocol. Some tips for the public comment protocol. The GO Team is not required to schedule time for public comment at every meeting. The public comment should be scheduled for major action items, items that need a GO Team vote, that will require public input or need public buy-in. Consider the schedule of the school community for those meetings that do allow public comment in order to give your community the chance to participate. Set a specific time for your public comment period. For example, you could allot a 20-minute segment on the agenda for public comment and allow each member of the public to have 2 minutes to speak during that segment. At the end of public comment, at the end of the public comment period, the chair should close the public comment and move on to the next agenda item. Post a clear process for how individuals sign up or indicate they wish to speak. GO Team members should not respond during the public comment period. The public comment period is designed to gain input from the public, not for immediate responses by the GO Team to the public comment presented. The GO Team should listen attentively to all comments and take the summation of the comments into consideration when making decisions. Remind the public that a scheduled public comment period on the agenda is not the only means for providing input. The GO team should encourage the public to contact them via their APS email addresses. Emails sent to the GO team members about school concerns are also considered public comment. If there are urgent matters that need the GO team's attention, the school can organize information sessions, or the GO team can schedule separate public comment meetings to gather that information from stakeholders. Please take a moment to review our current public comment protocol and information. So we'll go to our GO team page.
Yeah, you have to go to the archive.
Okay, so this is what we have currently. If you would like to participate in a public comment session, please fill out this Google form. Quickly. So basically, very general email, first and last name, how you're affiliated with Sarah Smith, and please indicate what topic you'll be addressing at the meeting. Up to 20 minutes will be set aside for public comment and select meetings as noted on the published meeting schedule and agenda. In order to speak publicly at the GO team committee meeting, you will need to complete the Google form with notice to the GO team 24 hours in advance of the meeting. Each speaker will have 2 minutes to share with the GO team. Speakers will be timed by a member of the GO team and notified when the time has expired. The public comment period is designed to gain input from the public and not for immediate responses by the GO team to the public comment that is presented. If there are any questions or information that you have for the GO team, you may also contact one or more of the GO team members, and they are the previous page.
I have a question about if emails to GO team members about school, like if somebody emails us and is like, as a GO team representative, I have these questions, and those are considered public comment, do we add those to the minutes?
Great question. Ms. Jacoby? We haven't had that before.
So you are not required to put public comment in your minutes. So if you get emailed by a community member who wants to raise a concern or has a question, then as a GO team member, you are welcome to bring that up in the next GO team meeting. Like, hey, I had a community member reach out and they're concerned about, or they have questions about this. But even if people come to give you public comment, you are not required to include any of it in the minutes. That is up to the GO team as to how much information they want to include in their public comments. So if the team so desires, you can include that, like emails or personally, I would anonymize it a little bit. You know, a community member emailed the GO team members about this, if that is the will of the body at Sarah Smith. But it's not a requirement. Does that help?
Yes, I think it would be confusing to try to parse what emails are considered true GO team public comment. So I would think we wouldn't, but because it was mentioned that that was public comment, I just wanted to clarify that we do not have to include those in minutes. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Jacoby.
You're welcome.
Are there any recommendations for updates or changes to our public comment protocol? May I have a motion to adopt this public comment protocol?
to adopt the public comment protocol.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions, please say abstain or raise your hand. Okay, go. All right,
So what is the procedure? Some parent emailed me and said, Go Team, do I send it to the whole Go Team? Or bring it to the next meeting?
There is no there's no email address that reaches all the Go Team members like the school board. If you wanted to forward it to all of us, you could, but you're not required to. And you could bring up their comments anonymously during our open discussion items. But if you wanted to have it on the agenda, you just need to let us know in advance, like an agenda item for like community concerns. And then we can keep it on the agenda to hear from whatever anybody has heard from anonymously from community members to discuss.
And that kind of reminds me of last year when we had when we talked about life and things, and we had talked kind of in the group with emails, and then it came on to the agenda, and then we had a discussion of how things like that are helped, run at school, so it can always be discussed.
so,
I was gonna say,
Mr. Go ahead.
if the person is willing to speak to the Go Team, then I would just order that Google form. And say, you can talk about this at the next meeting.
And it could be online or whatever have
Right.
you. And just, Ms. Jacoby, just making sure with the protocol. So on a meeting where we've received input via email, that's just an item that we add for discussion, correct?
Well, it depends on what the item is. So somebody could email the Go Team or Go Team members about that they are very upset about the color of the flowers in the front flower bed. That is not within the Go Team's purview. So the Go Team would forward that on to Principal Hudson, and that is a, kind of a management issue. But if somebody were to email you all asking about relevant data that you guys discuss from your strategic plan, be it attendance or academic data, then all Go Team members have the right to ask for items to be placed on the agenda. So as an example, let's say a community member emailed you saying, hey, I understand that milestones results have been sent out, and I really think that the community needs to know more about the milestones results. So a Go Team member could say, we want to make sure that we have a milestones discussion set for our next Go Team meeting, and that we see all the data. So some of it kind of just sort of depends on what people email to y'all, because if it's about individual students or individual teacher concerns, that is a management issue, and that needs to be forwarded to Principal Hudson. So if it's something that is relevant to the Go Team, then any Go Team member can request an item be added to the agenda. I hope that didn't confuse the issue.
Well, that makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have a question. Where does the Google form, where's the Excel sheet that feeds the Google form? It goes to the secretary?
It has my email, so I think it goes to me.
Oh, you changed it?
I think that your email was pre-populating as somebody who would have been.
Somebody
Oh,
clicked on
okay.
it, yeah,
So
I
it-
get it, yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
because you clicked on the form.
but yeah, that
Goes to
goes
the
to me.
secretary. That makes sense.
Let's make sure, just for clarity.
Right there.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that's Go Team.
That's who's
Go
putting
Team.
it in.
Okay. So you get that. Awesome.
And I
We-
generally share if I get one, I'll forward it out.
So we just kind of need to update this also.
Yeah, we'll update everything.
That's fine. Contact them.
Well, it comes, yeah, they submit the form, they don't follow up with an email.
All right, so
I can make it really
Now I know I'm
explicit,
getting
like
all the
also
spam.
email.
Adhering to the agenda, we will now discuss our meeting calendar for this year. As a reminder, our GO team is required to have at least 6 business meetings this school year. 4 of the meetings must permit time for public comment. Meetings cannot be held during the instructional school day. Meetings must be live streamed and recorded. And meeting locations for hybrid meetings must be places which can accommodate the public, not a conference room. May I have suggestions, recommendations for meeting dates and times? And we had, there's another document, 1 second. This will kind of guide our work. Yeah, I'm trying to pull that back up. So traditionally, this is our organizational meeting. So last year we did the 6-meeting schedule. Is anyone opposed to 6 meetings?
I think we did 6, then didn't we have to add an extra one?
We ended up adding 1.
Yeah.
Hopefully this year we will streamline it and keep it to the 6, but if we need to add 1, that's not an issue.
So we did September, October, November. We broke in December. We came back in January, February, March, and April. That was what we did.
Do we want to keep that same schedule, everyone?
I think was the March one, the added one
For the budget
for the
approval
budget.
meeting.
I can't remember if it was the middle one or the last one.
I think it was the March one.
That we had to
I
add.
couldn't attend that one because I had something.
So looking at, say, what were the months
So
again?
we did, last year, we did, on top of the August one, we did September, October, November. We broke in December. We came back end of January, beginning of February, beginning of March, mid-April. We only had about 2 weeks between our January and February one, because I think we had to,
The budget
the budget
approval.
was really, yeah. I think if we do like we did and then skip March, but add it back if we need it, right?
That sounds fine to me. Are Thursdays good days for everyone?
Do Wednesdays work for anyone?
No, we
Throw
have
it.
tutoring out. We're gonna have
Alright.
tutoring.
And Wednesday, if I get pulled out for a day, it's gonna
Okay.
typically be Wednesday.
Well, the answer's no until you
ask.
ask, so I had to ask, guys, I had to ask. No, it's like a hard
Thank
no.
Or is there another day? I'm not opposed to another day. No
Mondays are fine.
Mondays.
No Monday?
I don't wanna mess with Thursday, if everyone likes Thursday.
Let me see the hands of the Thursday fans.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's pretty unanimous. Or close to it. All right, so let's start sketching out. Everyone has their calendars.
Okay, does the second Thursday make sense? The second Thursday? Let's go through it, because there's gonna be like breaks, and then
Right.
February, you know, we've got spring breaks, and we've got February, we got winter break, like all the things. I mean, yeah, we could start at the second Thursday and then see what happens.
Will we have the GMAS by September 12th? Will we have milestone data by then?
Yes.
Okay.
We have ELA, math is
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
We should have math truly within the next couple of days or so.
Well,
So the 12th?
anyone have an issue with the 12? 3, 2, okay.
1 second, I'm sorry. September 12th should work for me.
Are we at 3 or 15?
3,
3.
with school being out earlier, what, and
Nice.
I'm flexible, who wants to, is 3 fine, or is it too much of a rush, or is 3:15 better?
3's fine.
I'm always in the West End, so for teachers, it's better for you to not wait so long.
October,
About October 10th
I think, is that,
or October 24th. The 17th is fall break.
24th, I am at Philly.
The 10th?
November looks like the 7th or the 14th?
We don't, is the 14th.
The 14th would be better for me.
What's wrong on the 14th, Carla?
Nothing. I was thinking, I was trying to push out.
Oh, next week. Wait,
The week before.
okay, so the week of the 18th is IT. Yes,
Correct.
yeah. Okay.
I was just looking.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's like, so November 14th.
We're all good with that? All right, looking ahead to January.
I feel like we felt last year that waiting till the last was a little too late. So maybe we try to do like the 12th or the 19th rather than that last weekend. Oh, wait, no, I'm looking at December, my bad. Maybe the 9th or the 16th. I feel like the teachers can do that.
Well, Ms. Jacoby, go ahead. Excuse me.
So one thing to remember when you get into January, we're starting to talk about budget season. And disclaimer, finance sets the budget, and with a new superintendent, I'm not 100% positive it's going to be in the exact same cadence. However, January through March is budget season, and in the past 4 or 5 years, principals have not received their allocations until around MLK Day or later, correct? Principal Hudson?
I think so. That's what I
Yeah.
was, remember exactly when we received that. So it was, that's why we waited till later in January.
Yeah, so in looking at this, if you're sticking with Thursdays, it would be right now based off of past calendars. I would not recommend doing anything before the week of the 20th in January. And I know it gets really tight between January and February because the allocations don't come out until mid to the end of the month of January. And then they have to be completed before that winter break in February, because in the past, there have been staffing conferences during that week break that students and teachers have in February. So I know that that's a really tight timeline, but it is set by the finance department.
So January 23rd may be the best earliest time.
So if we do that, do we want to maybe push out the November one to December 5th? So that there's one kind of in between October and January?
I think December gets really busy for everybody, so I would still keep it in November.
Keep it in November?
Yeah.
So why can't the last meeting be February?
I think we
Well, we
probably
have
want to
to
start
do
talking
it.
about budget stuff as soon as we get it, in case we need that 4th meeting.
So I do need to do the budget, share it with you all, get reviews, get feedback, and then bring it back to for a final vote.
So you want to do 2 February or January?
You go late January, like the 30th, and then there's 13th of February.
That works. It's always a crunch time.
Because we were 125 and 28, so we did, what, 2 weeks last year? And then we did a month.
They do staffing during the winter break. So should we look till after that? Which would be-
It would
that's
come a
long
little
time.
bit,
Which that's too long. But you might have more information.
if they
after
change
that.
after that, then I have to come back again, so it would have to be that 27th. I'm thinking February 27th. That's reasonable, right, Diane, with them doing staffing conferences during winter break, if it remains the same, that gives me a chance to come back with any updates that may have changed, and if we meet on February 27th, I'll have all the info.
No, because what you should be, if you think about this from the governance lens, your budget should be that, from the feedback meeting, it should be pretty much tied up. Because, from a governance lens, what you're doing is the GO team has told you, hey, this is the budget we want you to advocate for. So you should be taking the budget that the GO team has said, this is what we want you to present for staffing conferences. Now, please understand that there are a lot of moving parts with budget. So Principal Hudson could go to staffing conference and something outside of his control could change it, which is why at the approval meeting, if there were any changes during staffing, he will give them to y'all and give you an update. So you
Oh.
want to finish that feedback meeting? So if you're, as what you have up on screen, that sixth meeting, that budget feedback meeting has to be completed before you go to staffing conference.
Oh, so it's
So
gonna
let's
be
go
mid-February.
before that, that's
So
what
the
made it so
13th?
tight. That looks good to me.
Yeah, January.
January is the
23rd.
23rd,
So it's gonna be kind of similar to that, okay.
and then February 13th. Then we come back in March for another, for the budget approval, so that can be I think around the 13th again.
Map testing, map testing starts March 11th. So are we allowed, and is that?
Yeah,
any
map is
conflict?
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the next week is spring, no. what is this? Yeah.
So we'll say March 13th.
Schedule a placeholder meeting just in case we need to review.
That's a good
I-
idea.
I think that is it.
I
think
think
the
we already
March-
have it in
I
there.
think the March was our one that we didn't plan last year, what we ended up doing. But,
February. It's one of those two is the extra.
Yeah, we have 7 meetings scheduled.
Okay, and then we'll do April.
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. That's what we did.
So mid-April,
17,
spring break is,
and the 7th. Yeah, the 10th is.
I might have some personal.
Monday?
We don't come
How
back
do you
from
tell us how you
holidays.
feel about that?
Did we say the 14th, the 17th, and 24th?
Checking something.
Oh,
I-
okay.
we
For the
should,
17th.
I should be fine.
If not, we could move it to the 24th.
Mhm.
So we'll tentatively April what, 17th? Okay.
The chair, yes. We have the GO team, but that's fine. September 12th, October 10th, November 14th, January 23rd, February 13th, March 13th, April 17th, with an alternative in case we have a conflict would be April 24th. We'll be meeting at 3 p.m. in the IC Media Center.
April 24th, I'll also be out of town.
Okay, so that's fine.
Right. We now need to determine at which meetings we will allocate time for public comment. As a reminder, we must allow for public comment at least 4 times during the school year. Now that we've determined our calendar, now I have a motion to approve the calendar.
So
So
are you
let's-
allowing public comment at all meetings?
No, let's
Yeah, let's look at that.
definitely February.
Mhm. I would say definitely September as well. Go ahead and give people an opportunity, sooner rather than later.
I'd say the November, the strategic plan,
Mhm.
so November, January.
The strategic plan is presented in November. Okay, so you're saying after you present the strategic plan.
Well, the strategic plan will be in September. It'll be an update in November. February is budget, and then something to close out the year, maybe the April one.
I think probably the March would be more meaningful to allow people at the March, but,
Prior to budget approval?
yeah, but
I
I'm
think that's
flexible
fair.
if we
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
To have a voice.
So what I have is September, November, February, and March will be our public comment meetings. Okay, so now that we've determined our calendar, may I have a motion to approve the calendar?
So moved.
A second? All in favor, please raise your hand. All right. Go team, please enter these dates into your personal calendar so you don't forget. Now we will determine our Go Team norms. We'll begin by reviewing the initial Go Team norms. This is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. We will be fully present. We will follow the agenda as noticed to the public and stay on task. We will be respectful of each other at all times. We will be open-minded. We invite and welcome contributions of every member and listen to each other. We will respect all ideas and assume good intentions. We will approach differences of opinion with curiosity. Does anyone have any changes to these norms? May I have a motion to adopt these norms for our Go Team?
I said moved.
A second?
One second.
All in favor, please say aye, or raise your hands. All right. We will now move on to information items, and first is the principal's update. So we're in the beginning of school, great opening to the beginning of school. We had a visit from our new superintendent already. He came and walked the building here at IC, visited numerous classrooms. Over at the PC, you will notice a lot of updates as well as here, but I think it's a little bit more noticeable at PC. The playground equipment, which was donated to us by our after-school program, Smith After School, The kids seem to love the game with, the music. And what is the other one called?
Gaga ball. Yeah, Gaga ball.
Gaga Ball is a hit. I can't wait to go actually see them play it. Since I've been here, there were a lot of questions about when are we getting the roof? We received the roof. So the roof was done this summer over at PC. The vestibules that have been promised for a few years, those are coming. The one here at IC is pretty much finished. The one at PC still has some work to do, work to go, but it's not too much left. Just maybe some glass, and so they'll make those changes soon. They also did include some treatment for the windows at both campuses to some bulletproofing at some of the windows at both campuses. So that's another safety feature. Map testing begins next week. So we want the kids, I'll do an announcement to the children to get some rest and do their best. And we're going to talk a lot about growth this year. We are going to have a day where they set their growth goals, and that'll be a big deal for them. We also have orientation nights coming up next week for all grade levels. Pre-K and K on one night, first and second on another, and third through fifth at IC all together. And then Ms. Gowden, who's here today with us, I'd like to also give her a shout out and a thank you for hosting new parents at our house in the backyard. It was an awesome event. Lots of parents showed up. Lots of good interactions, getting to meet people, parents meeting other parents that are new to Sarah Smith. And this is something that she talked about since last year. She said, hey, this is what I'm about, Mr. Hudson, and she put her money where her mouth is. So we thank you for that. And those have been the main updates. We are working on a lot of curriculum stuff. There's changes with curriculum. Some is causing us to have some schedule changes, but you'll see the introduction of Flyleaf and your children coming home talking about Flyleaf, which is our phonics program. And it breaks students down in K through 3 into small groups. You'll hear students talking about morpheme magic, which are Greek and Latin roots that they'll be using with the students to help build vocabulary. And this is all coming out of the science of reading. And there's one more piece that I'm missing. Flyleaf, Haggerty. Oh, and Haggerty is, I love Haggerty. So that's the phonemic awareness piece. I've seen it implemented in a few classrooms. The kids are really into it. They're hand gestures, and it's really about working with the sounds of language. And the students are learning the different sounds, and that's going to help with their reading as well. So that's, with the focus on literacy, that's a lot of what's happening, but we are going to have to make some tweaks to our schedules because with Flyleaf, there's a lot of small groups. And so in order to get the groups, we're pulling teachers from different areas to support the students. And then, of course, I've heard someone mention the dyslexia screener, which comes with MAP. We also sent out a, if you'd like to not put your child, if you don't want your child taking it, but I think it's an excellent resource for us to identify early if there are potential problems, and we can look at that and support students with dyslexia as well, because it seems like that's on an increase. We look at the data from over the years. So the state with science of reading has included that as part of the screener with MAP fluency.
Can I ask a question? So, Flyleaf, phonics, morpheme magic, and Haggerty, are these like curriculums, teaching methods, computer, like what are these?
No computer. So Haggerty is the teacher standing in front of the class, giving you word parts, or giving you or segmenting words or bringing words together. It's
like a methodology.
Well, it's the whole program.
Okay.
So for example, they have a week 1 and they may, like today, kindergarten was doing, when I say, listen, blackberry, put it together, blackberry.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hamburger, put it together, hamburger. And so the students are learning that together, and that's also helping them with listening, segmenting sounds, and it's a strength it's going to help support and strengthen their reading. That's Haggerty. Then the other one was Flyleaf, which is going to be phonics. All of the students were tested on that. So like sometimes people say, well, what do the coaches do all day? They put together a whole team so that the teachers didn't have to do it. And they went together and and tested all of the students that
Is
needed
this the
testing.
reading list, or do you read lists? Which one?
Yeah, you start with a word
Yes.
list.
Okay,
and
all
then
right,
the
because
word
like you
list.
hear, you hear bits and pieces, and I'm like. Which
So
one?
that was getting them ready for fly leave. So
Right.
now it's giving us levels.
Okay.
And
cool.
with those levels for K through 3, we're able to determine what the small groups are in each level. And so those students are broken into groups of about 15, and different students are supporting that. So imagine if you have a class of 25, depending on where your students score, they go with different groups. So that's all of the planning that has to happen now. It couldn't happen in the summer because you have to actually test the students once they come back. And there are no computer components with that. That's the teacher working directly with the students in small groups.
No, sorry, I keep asking questions. So you said like put them in groups of 15. If you have a class of 25 and you have a group of 15, are they all staying in one class, or are we talking about like a grade?
A grade.
And then those kids, okay, all right, so like.
And then
fully-
they're farm, I don't want to say farmed out.
No,
They're
but like
divided
fully
into small
differentiated
groups
into
and,
their
right.
groups. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
So you might be working with someone from a different section,
Definitely.
just someone that's like your peer on level. Okay, cool.
And then
our
what was the last one?
Flyleaf, morphing magic.
Oh, no, did you have a question about
That
that?
was the last one that you had.
So that was just the Greek and Latin roots that they'll be
It's
working
and
with.
then that's only third.
Third. Mhm.
Okay, all right.
And so when we talk about vocabulary, as far as science of reading, the younger grades will get that through read alouds with the teacher and other vocabulary techniques within the classroom.
And actually, I'll tell you, in third grade, they do Heggerty for their phonemic awareness. So they're not starting morphine magic until January because they're doing both of those things.
Because they're doing Flyleaf.
They're doing
Yeah.
flyleaf,
And
but they're doing Heggerty.
Okay, and then
And
that's
then, yeah.
cool.
That's a little bit what?
Is that
Never
the
mind.
name?
Morphine magic, like I don't know. what-
Morphine.
That's, I would.
We need to enunciate.
So within a grade level for the flyleaf groups, so how many different levels are there?
It's just based, we have the data, and I don't know it right off the top of my head, but there are several groups, I think for.
They'll probably be, I don't know. I don't know. They're based on skills. So, there might be one that's working on CVC with blending, or there might be one that's working on blending and segmenting group. So I don't know. I haven't looked at the spreadsheet.
I
I
think,
did some of the testing and
I think the last time we looked,
this week.
kindergarten fell right around 12, and that was manageable because they have paras. So they'll be able to do 12 groups within the grade level with the paras combined. So it just depends on each grade level where the students fall, and then making sure that they're split with, they're with their groups as much as possible.
And so how do you assess for flyleaf?
So Flyleaf starts out with word lists, so you read until basically, the student reads it until basically, it gets too difficult. And that list says, okay, they need to either, they need to read this passage. So then we read that passage, and that passage tells you what skill group they need to be. And those skills are in colors, just for ease of visual ease, but it's based on a skill. It's not like how we used to say, you're a F and you're a level C and you're a K. It's more, you're in the blending group or you're in the segmenting group.
And so whenever we do fall conferences, would that be something that parents would get to be notified of at the beginning of the year? We assessed your child at flyleaf and they fell into this group and they've been working with this group and they're gonna throw to here.
Yes, I mean, that's
Okay.
essentially what should be.
Did they stay stuck in this group the entire academic year?
No, because it's based on the skill. So once that skill's mastered, and I'm not sure about the assessments. Like in foundation, it was once a week you assessed, and then based on that assessment, your students were in different small groups within your class working on skills, and they were reassessed so they could move. So it's like that, but I don't know the frame of the assessment.
We will have more information because when we met as a team, we had a number of questions surrounding it. One question for me in particular, it was, if you have a first grader that's scoring at a lower score, what's the acceleration plan to get that student up to their grade level? And so we're meeting with the district experts next week to kind of share that with us so we can move our students up. Because I don't want, if a student is scoring at the lowest level and they're in first grade, that's not satisfactory for them to stay at that level. So we're looking at what is it going to do, what is it going to take to accelerate that student and help them to catch up with their peers. But part of it is the ability to work in small groups and target the specific skills that they need. So when they graduate from that, they move on to the next level.
Question, so if you have a student who is very, are they still going to be learning within the third grade curriculum, or can they like move out?
So it'll depend on the skill. So if the skill is in, I mean, if it's a fourth grade skill or a
Yeah.
fifth grade skill, then it would go up to that.
And then are there any controls or variables for things like the student is in BOI, so they're still trying to learn two languages at the same time, or just any of the other barriers that could be not reflective of a learning challenge, but just the environment circumstances?
So with this program, as opposed to some of the other ones that we've seen over the years, it's the teacher working directly. So you have that element added in to see, that may give us a little bit more leeway and understanding of what's going on with that particular student or what they need. And then also we do have a number of students that have tested out. And so there's a plan for that. So we're going to sit down with them too. And we discussed it yesterday at principals meeting, some of the elements, but I'd like to just get more information so I can speak to you with, knowledgeably about everything that they're going to do. But they're going to be tested in other areas, and then we're going to start to work on comprehension for those students. So if they don't need it, they're not stuck there. And that's the whole thing that we've always wanted to help, like really move our students that are advanced while supporting the students that need that support.
Because Flyleaf is a K-3 strategy, and if you've mastered all of the, items in that strategy, then what would be next, is what you're saying.
Right, you would go into comprehension, so we'll go into different assessments to see where your comprehension levels fall and where you need to be supported with comprehension. But that's coming soon, but we'll be meeting with the experts downtown to see how it's gonna work for us. Because each school has its particular challenges, and so we need to talk about what we need here in Smith for our students.
Is this across like
All it is.
all of this? Okay.
And those are our major updates. So going back to the agenda, does anyone have any announcements? Long day. In case you missed it, our new superintendent, Dr. Brian Johnson, has posted his 100-day plan. Part of this plan includes community engagement sessions and a learn to listen survey. All stakeholders are invited to participate in the survey and events. Visit atlantapublicsschools.us/100, that's the numeral, 100 day plan, DAY plan, to find out more. The GO Team office would like to remind all GO Team members that they must complete their orientation training in order for our school's GO Team to be in compliance. Please contact them if you have any questions.
What's the date on
It didn't say.
it? Is it in, do we have a list? Is that where it is?
Yeah, that's where all
It
the
was
trainings
like
are.
August first, but I think it was just.
I feel like you would have been notified if you needed one.
Yeah, if you need
I
a
think
training.
you're good. I
Okay,
think
okay.
you're good.
Yeah.
I think it's.
Because I was afraid it was going.
Okay. We have reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time? May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Make a motion.
I second.
Let me get to it now.
Sorry.
All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks a lot.
Great. Do we need to arrange these tables? Yeah.
We'll take care of the table.
Do that?
Ah,
Right.
Ms. Jacoby,
Yes, sir.
thank you for being here, as always.
Thank you. Just confirming, the vice chair was one of your parents, Miss, Dickerson?
Dickerson, yes.
Okay, Simona, right? Or,
Yeah.
okay, just making sure. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Okay.
Leave it like that.
Listen to podcasts.
Am I supposed to be sorry or like?
I'm just thinking, literacy courses, a podcast.